Hail, Reckoners, and welcome back. Today's indie game is Protoshift. This is a arcade-like reflexy game. If you played Super Hexagon or what's the other one? I forget now, but there's similar games. So this video is me post-commentating over gameplay I just recorded a few minutes ago. Yeah, it's because it's reflex-based, so I'd have a very hard time playing and talking at the same time. Well, a harder time than normal. And girls are watching, so I gotta show them my A game, right? Let's get started. So, already we can see, really cool soundtrack on this thing. We're gonna be working up the easier difficulties, skipping training because it's the easiest, and you can kinda go indefinitely on it. So basically the idea is, that little square is tied to your mouse, and it controls very well. I was actually surprised at how crisp the controls feel. So you're kind of navigating through an endless row of, like pipe shapes with a hole in them, and they kind of do like a walking type thing. I mean, I'm explaining what you're seeing, basically. They get faster as you go through. That was a very poor run. The level size is a function of time, and the length of a level gets shorter as you choose a harder difficulty. So it looks like on this setting, there are 20 seconds per level. You will notice a little triangle exclamation mark flash every time things are going to shift the direction of rotation. Early on, this is very simple because it is just a walking motion, so it's very easy to predict what is going to happen. Now, as we see on level 3, it's going so fast that sometimes it makes a complete revolution before changing direction, and that can make it very hard because, so before, like if I'm right behind something as it rotates up, it's not going to change direction, and it hit me back down, and now it can do that, and that's what makes things past level 3, or on harder difficulties, a little tricky. You also have noticed, so basically in this Let's Play, every time I make level 5, I'm going to up the hardness difficulty, because level 5 is the highest level you can get on any difficulty. So you will have noticed there are power-ups in this game, temporary power-ups. There are 3. There's the one that I know for sure we've seen, which is a shield, and that is that you're invulnerable for a while. You can actually slam into these rectangles and just break them. It'll remove them from the rotation for a while. Not like that. The other 2 that I don't think we've seen is, you'll notice the snowflake-like one, and that shrinks you down. I believe the duration of all these is about the same. And there's the clock one, which slows time, so you have more time. See, there's a... That's supposed to have been a shrinking one, but it doesn't look like it actually shrunk on it. Interesting. This game is still in development a little bit, so there are some very small bugs that are currently getting worked out. I really like the difficulty choices in this game, because a big problem that I have with just this whole style of game that is, like level progression type games, like Tetris, arcade games. Most simple arcade games like this. The thing that is a very slight impediment to my complete enjoyment is early on they're very easy, which for this kind of game generally equates to boring. So having harder difficulties is really nice. I guess I'm only lasting a few minutes, so the quote-unquote boring bit is very brief. There, level 5, just made it. And we're gonna go to futile, the hardest setting. I'm sorry also, by the way, that you can't see the level in the top right-hand corner. I worked for a little bit trying to get my capture. Look at the great. Anyway, get my capture to capture the whole thing. For some reason, it's clipping off a few pixels on the right, and it's very annoying. I don't know why. So yeah, this is very crazy, very fast. Levels are only 5 seconds long, and in addition to this, as if that wasn't enough, you will notice this there's like a chroma graphical glitch kind of effect that, as far as I can tell, is deliberate, and it can be brutal sometimes. Also, these are randomly generated, so it's not like I have to memorize up, down, left, right, to navigate the spinning maze. It's just a function of luck/skill, you know, that kind of thing. I think also on futile, it looks like they also get the rectangles also move with respect to each other slightly. Sometimes looking at it in post, I kind of notice these things now, because obviously in the moment I'm not always perfectly aware of what's going on all the time. My focus has shifted to a quite narrow viewpoint. So I think this is gonna be a last run. I know there's one more. I think I do make it a level 5 by the end. Holy crap! The hitboxes on this are fairly generous, which is nice. You will notice, I think, the corners clip. See, level 5, just made it, with 2 seconds and a half to spare. So that was Protoshift. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's a great way to spend time if you like just, you know, feeling the adrenaline rush of having to react very quickly. Yeah, and on top of that, it satisfies the other criteria that all games like that must satisfy, and that is a really kick-ass soundtrack to match the adrenaline. So, good job, developer. If you want to play this game, I think it's on Steam Greenlight. I'm not sure how to get this game. I will have figured it out by the time I write the description. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.